gentlemen, and what is up? Welcome back to Gone Diggin live from the Relic Room. I'm really excited tonight. This is going to be a great stream. A lot of really fun stuff. As things go on tonight, if the sound messes up or anything happens, please let me know in the comments. If you guys have a question for us tonight, please drop a comment below with the @ sign. And man, we're gonna have a great stream. It has been super busy today for me. We spent the last 8 hours out in the field, just absolutely tearing up some bullets. We got into a lot of great targets. So it is going to be a great stream. So tonight we have Travis Allen from Rowan Relics, and we'll be talking about permission, how he gains permission, and all the stuff in between. And we may even have a special guest. So without further ado, let's see if we can bring Travis in this evening. Boom, Travis, what is up, my friend? How are you?
Hey, man, I'm doing good. Doing good. A little jealous of you getting to go out and dig today.
Yeah.
I'm stuck at the house a bit. Honey-do list to get done.
Well, every day I go out digging, my list gets longer and longer, and I don't think I'll ever finish it. But
Same here. Same here.
So yeah, man. So didn't get to go out digging, but you've been out in the last couple of weeks, and you've been doing pretty well, right?
Yeah, we've done really well. We dig quite a bit. I try to get in about 18 hours a week. Is what I about average. It's been a little bit slower here the last couple of weeks, just because of the weather, Christmas and the holidays. But back in the summer and the fall, I was hitting pretty hard, 18 hours a week. My rotating shifts where I work allows me to be off during the weekdays, so I just get out and go.
And just for folks who know, so you're in North Carolina, right?
Right, we're in central North Carolina, almost in the middle of the state in Rowan County. That's why I named the channel Rowan Relics, my group. So,
well, I'm glad I didn't butcher that too bad. So,
not worried about it. Not worried about it.
Rowan, cool, man. So, tell me a little about Central North Carolina.
Well, we have a lot. We have a rolling hills, the Piedmont area, kind of rolling hills. We're right in between the mountains and the beach. We're 3 or 4 hours from the beach, 2 hours from the mountains. The area I'm in, Rowan County, is a lot of rural farmland. We have a real rich history. Rowan County is one of the oldest counties in North Carolina, one of the original counties. So we do have a lot of history. Not a lot of colonial history. Our history really starts about the late 1700s when Rowan County started to get populated real well. When people came down from Pennsylvania, we had the Scott-Irish and the Pennsylvania Dutch come settle our area in the late 1700s. So we have a chance to get on some old ground here. I found a King George here in central North Carolina, so I was pretty happy with that. Well, it's a Woods Hibernia, 1724. So we're on them.
So when we kind of talked about this and how this whole live stream came about, you made a post on Facebook, and it kind of stirred some people up a little bit. I mean, is that fair to say?
Yeah, it did. And I'm not the type to be controversial guy, but I did make that post because it was how I was feeling at the moment. I think it came off a little negative. I sure didn't mean it to come off as negative.
Right. And what the post was about gaining permission and moving outside of your comfort zone and really what you think you're capable of, right? I mean, and basically your post was something along the lines of get your butt out there, go find it, because nobody's going to find it for you and nobody's going to give it to you.
That's exactly what it was. I got a good friend of mine, Chris Boardwine. We hunt all the time together. He's got a little page, Davie County Diggers. It's kind of funny, a river splits our counties. But we dug a lot together, and we just came to the point that, we're tired of digging wheat pennies. We're tired of digging mercury dimes. Nothing wrong with those things. But we see people like you and other people digging Civil War relics. And we just said to ourselves, we've got to stop doing what we're doing if we want to get in the relic game. Said, you can hit her. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. So let's go back to the very beginning of your metal detecting time, because I kind of want to segue this way. So you started off digging. What kind of sites did you dig?
Well, I started off, the funniest thing, you go to Rowan Relics and look at some of the first videos. I'm on a very old place My first place was a pre-1800s place. You can see the house. I found a flat button. I don't even know what it really is. I found 9 silvers out of that yard. A lot of modern silver, but I'm digging coins. I don't know what they are. I'm digging buttons. I don't know what they are. I started with an Ace 300 and moved to a Garrett. Now I'm with a Minelab. But I started with 1800s houses in Rowan County.
So and then so I mean the 1800s. I mean, gosh, a lot of boys traveled to and from the war, and they came back, and there's certainly
Right.
the opportunity to find stuff. But for the majority of the time, you were finding what you consider to be modern coins, right? Whether, don't get me wrong, we all love to dig silver.
Yeah, we like silver. I mean, I've dug 2 half dimes, one seated, one cap bust. Seated dimes, barber dimes. But not really. Civil War related items, which I'm very interested in. Relics to that type. But you're right. Most of them were 1900s coins. Seems like Rowan County has a lot of houses built around after the Civil War, around 1870s up through the turn of the century. So that's what I concentrated in. Was very successful. I mean, in 2 years, I've dug 100 plus silver coins of all different types and a lot of nice relics. I've done a little bit of studying, hit a Civil War site here in Salisbury. We had a large prison, Confederate prison here, where we had a lot of Union soldiers. We had a lot of post-occupation in Rowan County and Salisbury. So I found a lot of eagle buttons, that were Civil War, but later Civil War, 1865 or post-Civil War from the occupation. But hadn't really got into a lot of Confederate things.
Right, right. So we've got a pile of great folks hanging out. Just a quick shout out, Darnell, Hello World, Metal Detecting's here. Deeper Frequencies, Vermont, Derek, Outdoor Moore, Larry, Shane, Jamie, Ralph. I mean, it's the chat is jumping. So if you guys have a question, please use the @GoneDiggin sign, and we'll try to answer those as we go. So with a lot of that stuff, finding those kind of quantity of silver, man, I can't say that I've dug that many silver coins in 10 years. Do
But when you're concentrating, like, I mean, you do in your area, like, it's nothing for you guys up there in Virginia to go out and find 100 bullets in a weekend. I mean, it doesn't happen all the time, but it's not uncommon for 4 or 5 of you to get that amount at one time if you're hunting a good site. Here in Rowan County, you've always heard the thing, everything's dug out. You're coming to the game late if you're coming into metal detecting. I just found that was wrong. I mean, I had great success in people's front yards, and I just found that not to be true. I dug a lot, though. I probably put in more hours in 2 years than most people do in 4 or 5, because I dug every chance I can. I do a lot, and I try to stay in one area until I try to clean it out. But
yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
And I think that's a big thing. So Shane asked about the 15-inch on the Equinox. We're gonna catch that a little farther into the show when we talk about some equipment. So tell me about your, I guess, your line in the sand moment when you said, I'm going to stop doing this and I'm going to start doing something different.
Right, and we totally did. My friend and I, Chris Boardman, about 4 weeks ago, and he's just as successful as I am. Pounds it pretty hard. We reached that line in the sand that we watch YouTube videos of guys up in Virginia finding good things, and that was just a moment. We just basically looked at each other and said, "We're going to sit here in Central North Carolina and dig these turn of the century homes when we really want to be on Civil War ground." We didn't have a Civil War place. I had one guy on my. This is the only help we had. We had one guy on my Rowan Relics page. He's a fellow police officer from Virginia. And basically, he said, I kind of, how you hint around, take me with you. And nobody's going to do that. I mean, they can be your best bud because they can't take every Facebook friend they have to their sites. I mean, how many people can, Civil War sites are hard to get. He pointed us to a town and said, hit this town. So basically, that's exactly what we did. We took a map of a battlefield. Every battlefield's not a state park. They're protected, and we overlaid a Google map, and it showed a neighborhood in that area that he told us to go check. And we went to that neighborhood and just started knocking doors. And we drove 4 hours and didn't even have a permission. We just started about 9 in the morning. We figured people would be up on a Saturday. So we just hit doors and we got some permissions, and each of us came home with 25 bullets on the first day.
Wow.
So we were really happy with that.
What was that feeling like driving 4 hours knowing that you had you had an idea but you really didn't have anything farther than that?
Yeah, that's it. We had an idea where we were at. The guy assured us, hey, this whole area, this whole town is good. You dig in Virginia, you can get to some communities, and the whole community has a lot of Civil War activity around it. So we just got pointed in one direction and just started knocking on doors. And we printed out maps. We did a lot of studying before we went. We had large maps that we could mark off who we talked to. We wrote names and addresses down. Kind of cherry picked the ones we thought were the battle may have took place on the most, and that's where we concentrated on our door knocking.
So when you built your maps, when you were putting names and stuff, so was that like a tactic to help you, like, to have some information about the landowner prior to you knocking on that door?
Yes, I like to have a name before I go. Sometimes, just because your name's on the tax map doesn't mean you own it. But, it gave me a name that I could put with a face. If someone came to the door, I would ask them, are you the property owner, Miss So-and-so? That type of thing. And if they said yes, I'd simply say, I drove 4 hours just to talk to you. That was my opening line. I said, we're just a bunch of guys up from North Carolina. We drove 4 hours just to see you, and we don't even know you. And I think the line that really helped us the most was, we're looking for someone kind enough to let us look for some Civil War things on their property. And I was surprised. We batted 75% yeses. We sure did.
Vermont Derek asked, did you ever record any of the door knocking process?
No, I didn't. I was kind of, you get kind of nervous. I have a career where I speak a lot. I'm a detective with the sheriff's department. So, being on the stand in a court case, you talk to people all the time. I'm also on the Board of Education here in our county, elected official. So I talk a lot in front of people. So I don't have a problem with that. But, I didn't record it. I guess it'd be interesting to get a body camera and just see how it goes. You'd have to get their permission once they give you permission. But we were very fortunate that people would let us do that. But what we capitalize on, any permission you seek, and I found that out very quick as a new detectorist. I don't care what you swing. I don't care if it's a $3,000 instrument or a $50 bounty hunter. If you're not on good ground, you're not going to find it. The most important thing about being a good detectorist is the ground you're standing on.
Right.
If you're not standing on good ground, you're not finding anything.
Right. The research and the dedication to doing that, and then after that it comes all the other stuff, the machines, the technique, a lot of other things. So that's really incredible. Some folks, in fact, I talk a lot about permission. A lot of folks who are new to this are very, very eager to go to YouTube or to, hey, take me with you. And, I think that's really the really incredible part of your story is the go out and do it yourself attitude. Tell me about did you have very many negative experiences?
No, I mean, even the no's that we got people in that area were very polite. I think they were used to seeing relic hunters around. I mean, because in central North Carolina, if you go up to a door and you ask about metal detecting, they look at you kind of weird because I don't think they really understand it. But it seemed like when we were in Virginia that people knew that. Even some people said, yes, you can fill in your holes. So you could tell somebody's asked them before because they knew the ropes, Right. So, I felt that the people up there were very kind. We got no's, but they were nice no's. Nobody really slammed the door in our face or anything like that. There's certain techniques that I use here on permissions that are different than up there. But I thought it was important when me and my friend went. Only I went to the door. He stayed at the car, standing at the car door, out of the car, so it doesn't look like he's hiding. But he would be at the car. We felt it may be intimidating for two strangers to be there. But once the first I think the key to us getting those permissions was once we got the first permissions, we let the permissions start working for us. So if you're in sales, some of you guys that out there may be in sales, you know, if you're selling cars or houses, you want the referral business, right? You want the repeat business. And that's exactly what we tried to nurture on the trip. When we got back, we sent everybody a thank you note. Even the ones that told us no, we sent thank you letters for being kind and being polite to us. When we returned the second time, anybody that let us hunt, we brought them a gift bag. And then after that, the ladies of the house would say, hey, my sister has a lot down the road. My uncle owns some 25 acres about 5 minutes from here. And it just snowballed. We once you get those permissions, the art of a permission is just not the one you've got. How can that permission lead you to another one? And that's, I think, what we capitalized on up there.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's Vermont Derek says. You're good. Vermont Derek says this is sales 101. Yeah, absolutely, man. I think this guy right here knows a little bit about getting permission and door knocking.
Yes, he does.
But I'm not real sure. Let's see if we can slot him in here. You're gonna have to go. There you go. Hey,
where am I? I'm in so
You're
many
right.
different places.
You're right here.
It's so fancy in the Relic Room. How you doing, Travis?
Ain't it? I'm embarrassed. I got a metal detector hung by my wife. He's got this fancy Relic Room, you know.
I had a blank. Where do I look over
So here's the camera, and this is what the output is. But so me and Kurt actually talked about a little bit about this today, and I really love the fact that you have a sales pitch. Kurt, you kind of have a little bit different kind of feeling about it, right? Like you kind of believe whoever's going to say yes says yes, and whoever says no says no.
Yeah, I mean, we have been able to persuade a few homeowners when their first thought is no, and explain what we're doing and the kind of people we are. But it almost doesn't matter what you say, because I've said so many different things. I've seen other people say so many different things that people are either going to be nice, in a good mood, or they're just not going to have it sometimes. And a lot of that depends on the area you're in as well.
Do you feel the same thing? Like the same kind of thing? Like you already knew those people were going to say no when they said no to you?
You know, I kind of use being a police officer for so long and a detective for so long. I realized my first communication with a person, I've got about 10 to 12 seconds to win or lose a conversation, to win or lose an interview. I just try to concentrate on those first 10 or 12 seconds. Like my opening line was, we drove 4 hours here to see you, and they're total strangers, and say, listen, we're just looking for someone kind enough to allow us to home their property. And I think that word, we're looking for someone kind enough, maybe plays on their emotions a little, and it may break the ice. But I think Kurt's right. Once they've made up their mind after about those 15 seconds, I don't think it's worth your time sitting there, oh, please, that type thing. But once they've done that, but it's that opening impression. It's that first 10 to 12 seconds that you've got to get on there. But again, like letting those permissions work for you. Well, say you've got this how approach. You got this property that you love, man. This is the one this is the silver tuna, man. You want this property bad. Sometimes I won't start with that property. I start with the ones beside of it, because I know if I get the one beside of it, I can talk that guy into taking me next door to the one I really want. And then I've got a neighbor saying, hey, here's Travis. He's a cool guy. Let him check your property, and I'm on. So sometimes the one you want is not the one you get first. Get the ones beside of it and let the neighbors take you to the silver tuna. That's how you do it.
Silver tuna.
Yeah, I love it. I love it, Marv. That's cool because, there is strategy involved. And, that's more in-depth thought than just blatantly walking up to a door, And obviously we know that presentation makes a big part of being successful. Did you have like do's and don'ts of what you like? Let's just talk about what you wear.
Like when I wear tonight, I don't want to wear my plain digging clothes. I pick at my buddy. He wears a sweater vest and a dress shirt digging. Chris does. I'm sorry to crack on him, but the presentation, I like to go to the door with a collar, pull it like a shirt I got on now. Just something that's a little bit more presentable or whatever. Sometimes you can. Sometimes you've been digging all day and you're dirty and you just drive by a house and you go, "Ooh, look at that one," and you just you come up, you wear what you have.
It's
If,
tough
if
when
I'm
the first
strategically trying to
permission
get
you get
permission,
doesn't work out and you're already filthy and dirty and covered and you want to go dig another, it's tough when you do that, but there's good people out there that let you do it.
there are, they really are.
And if anybody has any ideas or what you wear, please drop that in the comments. I love to hear that. And it's so funny. So in that networking, I personally, that's where I live. I'm not a at heart door knocker. I can't do it. Maybe I just haven't been successful because I see hundreds of places I'd love to go and dig. But I have to just get over that. I think that's something everybody has to do.
Right. Especially new into the hobby, like I said, can't sit here and say I've dug the things you guys have. I've only been at it 2 years. One of the very first videos I watched was that one of that guys standing right there. So he takes the blame, sitting right there. Sorry. He takes.
I thought there was a ghost in the room.
No. So, but I did reach the point where I knew I just had to go ask, and being from the community and being in law enforcement here for 24 years and being an elected official here on the school board, I had a familiar face for some of the local permissions, so
And
I may have had advantage there.
To people.
Yeah, and pretty much they either voted for me or voted against me, or I'd been to their house, with the sheriff's office. When you live in a rural community, sheriff's department, you work the same rural zone for 20 years. You know every farmer, every house, everybody anyway.
That's awesome.
But not in Virginia. That's cold turkey.
Yeah, that's completely different, man. And that's what I really like about all of it is the fact that, Kurt's not here from Virginia, but it is that networking and that moving out of your comfort zone.
I've got permissions all up and down the East Coast.
Yeah,
I
mean, you got to do what you got to do, and you got to do it.
Oh yeah.
Right. Those drives. I think everybody I love to hear it too because people are like, man, you live in the central Civil War area, but I'm not afraid to go and drive to New Jersey because I love to dig a New Jersey copper. Put yourself in that area where you have the best chance of success for what you want, and that's what I really like about that story.
Right, and it's true. We felt that we've got to go. We've got to expand. If we really want to change, we have to change the way we dig. And for the month of, I haven't hunted a 1900s house in Rowan County in 5 weeks. We've been driving to Virginia. We just really wanted to change the way we did. And we have a good time, 3 or 4 hour trips, not too bad. We leave about 3 in the morning, get there at 7. We've got our routine. And then we dig till dark, get home.
Hunt till dark and then drive home, right?
Yeah, 1 day trips.
So we're not trying to give away your spots, but so when you talk about neighborhoods, are you talking about do you have any limit to the size of yard that you'll hunt? Because we talked about
No. The lots that we've been hitting is like a country club style and really nicer houses, but their yards are more wooded, so we don't have to worry about tearing up the estate yard, But the lots are about 3 acres, but honestly, the smaller lots is where we've had our success because I think people skipped over them. They didn't want to hunt a 1 acre lot. They wanted to hunt the 5 and 10 acres. But I think that our most success came from our smaller lots. We literally dug 100 bullets out of one little front yard.
Yeah.
That people I thought too small to have anything in it. And we've literally 2 trips we've dug 100 bullets out of probably a basketball court size yard.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
and they're still there.
Great.
Still there.
Yeah, it's just no opportunity is too big or too small. There's no small opportunity. So, and so there's a lot of fun stuff going on in the chat as well. So we introverts are never going to get the silver tuna.
Yes, you will.
I'm an introvert, man. It's hard for me to talk to people. I still get butterflies in my stomach walking up the doors, and half the time people don't answer the door.
True. That's different in North Carolina. They'll come to the door and tell you no. In Virginia, they just don't come to the door, and you know they're there.
Mm-hmm.
The I've had a few weird experiences knocking on doors, and obviously me personally, my experience in knocking on these giant farmhouses is not successful. I had a lady like stand behind the door and ask me if I had an appointment. Well, if I had an appointment, don't you think you would know about it? Like just weird stuff like that, or places that I knew would give open permission to a lot of people, and
right.
they would turn me down for whatever reason. So I guess that kind of turned me off of going and doing that.
It's probably your face. You should probably fix your face.
The problem is the guys I hunt with are just as ugly as me.
Right. But again, I think the key for those people that may be a little bit nervous is, I think first you need to realize how many people you really know yourself that have a property you may want to hunt. I mean, how many people you go to church with? Have you even networked with the people you go to church or you work with? Maybe they have a 1900s house in their neighborhood or in their family or their neighbors. People would be surprised at the permissions that they could get if they just even talk to their own circle of influences. People.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, they're probably on Facebook with contacts that could give them a good place to hunt if they just always. I mean, it's kind of funny. Everywhere I go, my wife thinks I'm crazy. I say, "Ooh, look at that old house. Ooh, look at that old property." It doesn't matter where we're at. She goes,
we're all the same.
Yeah. Ooh, look at that.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. Do you know these people?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Or maybe you know their neighbor. That's all you gotta do is find somebody in the neighborhood that knows them.
Yeah, and Shane put mention other people they may know. Absolutely. So.
Yeah, I've gotten permissions from a permission.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Here, call my friend. She has an old farmhouse too. Oh, thank you so much.
That's the key, though. Kurt, you hit it perfect, though. For us going to Virginia on these day trips, we went cold the first time. It had nothing. In 4 hours, we drove 4 hours, didn't even have a permission, but got one. We have two ladies that they gave us permission, and we took care of those ladies. We brought them Bath and Body Works gift bags. We brought them cookies and pies and things, and they love us to death. And they're getting permissions for us now. My sister has this amount. Go talk to her neighbor, and they call everybody in the neighborhood. And right now, we've only been doing it for 4 or 5 weeks, and we've probably got enough permissions in Virginia to last us till the summer, just for these two ladies that we were kind to. The thank you note. I mean, it made a big difference. If you get a permission, just don't dig the yard and leave that permission alone. Send them a thank you note when you go back to the area. Have a small gift for them. I'm not talking expensive gift, $10 gift bag. It means a lot to people, and they'll go to work for you. It's sales, man. It's sales 101. You got to sell yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And somebody said this is sales 101. I mean, it really is. You have to sell yourself. You have to sell the hobby. You have to sell, the whole package, really.
I know a friend that will, like, if nobody answers the door, he has a whole, like, note written up of, like, what he does and everything. He'll leave the note with a bottle of wine, and he usually gets calls back. They'll call him back. I mean, how much is, you can get a bottle of wine for $10.
Yeah, especially if it's somewhere you really want to go.
Yeah, the juicy places.
Yep.
Yeah.
The silver tunas.
I've got a property here in town that I've wanted to hunt for 2 years, but I've never had the right occasion yet. I want to catch the gentleman outside. He's a doctor, and I just don't want to cold it. I've been watching it, driving by it intentionally to try to catch him out in the yard because I haven't been able to get. I just don't want to ring that doorbell cold, so I'm waiting for the right time.
There's so many places I drive by day after day after day, and it's like I just finally, or like I'll knock on the same door 10 different times, 10 different weekends. And it's just like at this point I just want to know if it's a yes or a no, because I can take it off the list, or I can say thank you. I'm finally got it.
Yeah, well, those are great moments too. The finally get moments.
Yeah,
really good.
Yeah, it's absolutely, when you get that, it's like, we've talked about this too. It's like you get that yes, and you're like, oh my gosh! It's like somebody opened the pearly gates, So have you run across where you've gotten that yes, and then you were just like, there is nothing here, or
Oh, that most of the silver tunas turn out to be nothing. And the ones you think are going to be garbage are your best places. I mean, to me, that's what's happened to me. The ones I want so bad and I get it, and absolutely nothing there.
That's one of my favorite things about this hobby. Every single day is different, and you do not know what the day is going to hold.
That's right.
No way of knowing until you get out there. There's been days we drive around for 9 hours, never get a permission, never dig a hole, but we're laughing and giggling and acting like schoolgirls in the truck the whole time. So we had a good day, but we, never dug a hole.
Yeah. And it's the people you dig with. I dig with, like I said, I got a digging friend, and we'll aggravate each other like you guys do on the Hoover Boys. You get more fun out of aggravating your buddy than you do,
Yeah, that's really the only reason I go metal detecting with Jamie and Ralph, is just to aggravate the crap out of them.
I couldn't tell you the last time I went detecting by myself. I honestly couldn't. I have no idea. I don't even have an interest in detecting by myself anymore.
And walk in front of their line dropping pennies,
That's what friends are for.
Where are all these pennies coming from?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I have no clue.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So I guess we can talk a little bit about. So let's talk about your progression of machines. You hunt now from. You started with an A series, and then you went into AT Pro,
AT Max,
and now what are you hunting with now?
Kind of had that. Dad enjoys it. He has my AT Max now. I love the machine. It's just an extremely good machine. I've never made a point to crack on people's equipment and stuff. I believe if you got an instrument from AT Max, if you're digging an AT Pro and above, and you're good with that instrument, you're going to find good things. I'm using the Minelab. Yeah, you get good at it. I mean, everybody has their preferences. I like the Minelab. I'm using the Minelab 800 now, but I still love the Garrett series of the detectors too. I mean, you're not going to go wrong.
Machines. They really are. I hunt side by side with everybody that uses everything in between. And if you're on a good site, everybody finds stuff. If you're on a bad site,
exactly right. Exactly right.
Yep. Yeah. And what you said before, location.
Right.
It's absolutely a great time. Oh, my buddy Tommy Aiken's here. What's up, Tommy? I got to go out digging with Tommy, and that's the other cool part that Tommy, he said good friends are forever, and that's really, it's like this community that you end up building. I mean, you have a great Facebook group, your channel's growing, but you're really building a community, and that's really what I like about all of this.
Right. I have a YouTube channel, Rowan Relics. It doesn't compete with the Hoover Boys or anybody, but I do it to have fun. I mean, I don't do it to get subscribers. I don't do it I do it because I enjoy doing it, and it's a fun part of me finding the things to show people. My Rowan Relics Facebook page, we're over 1,000, and it's a private group. Anybody can join, but I just don't want any troublemakers in there. This hobby should be all fun. There should be no controversy here. I don't want to hunt your spot. I don't want to crack on your metal detector. I want to have fun.
Exactly.
And if I can't have fun, I don't want to do it. If it's going to be stressful, there's going to be turmoil, I don't want to do it. I just rather have fun.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I see the hobby. I mean, there's plenty of dirt out there for everybody. It's not dug out. There's stuff everywhere. And just go have fun.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely,
and enjoy.
Man. Absolutely. I mean, I think that's a really big thing too, is nothing's ever dug out. I mean, we went to a place today that there was a guy on the field who had been digging there for 50 years. That's incredible to think that he's been digging in one spot. I mean, basically one spot for about, I think he said 48 or something.
But he still wants to go back.
All the time. And we found stuff everywhere we went.
This is a big place.
Right.
Everything was deep, but man, I had a good time today.
So Alabama Digger said, "Have you ever paid for a permission? Would you ever consider it?"
Oh, I would. I mean, I think I would consider it if it was reasonable. I mean, I'm not going to pay big, elaborate dollars, but if I got a house, the guy says, "Hey, $25, you can hunt it," and I like it. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm not going to put my paycheck on it though. I mean, I do. I'm going to the NDL hunt here in Thursday, in a 3-day hunt. I like to pay for some of those hunts, like some of you guys been to Pound the Ground, stuff like that. I enjoy those. If I'm going to spend my money, I'd rather spend it, in those kind of things.
Right.
But I really haven't had that issue. I haven't had people run that by me yet.
Have you ever considered like a land lease?
We've talked about it before. Like, if there's a place that like we know is the spot, like, how about everybody just throw in $20 and like, hey, take $100 so we poke around.
That. Yeah, I would do something like that.
I would consider doing it. I think if you had a group of 8 or 10 guys and say you had 1,000 acres or 1,500 acres, what's the difference in a metal detecting lease versus, like, say, an organized, like, hunting club,
Right.
So, yeah, I would consider doing it, whoever asked.
People pay big money for hunting these properties. I can't believe they let us on just for fun. I honestly can't.
Well, a lot of the properties you can't get the deer season's over because they lease it out for that.
There's always a season end. It's like...
It's turkey season. It's deer season. And I'm a big hunter. We lease hunting land as well.
Mm-hmm.
But that hunting's kind of took a back shelf here lately.
Yeah.
Most hobbies do when you get into this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I enjoy it. But it's fun to be able to come on a show like this. And I consider myself still, a learning experience. Only been doing it 2 years. Been really successful, but it's fun to see guys like both of you that give us an opportunity to just have fun, watch what you guys dig, and learn. And it shows you how fun the hobby can be when you do it with friends. I think that's why I enjoy the Hoover Boys and your show more than I do some of the others, is because it's the camaraderie in the group and the friends. It's just as important as the digging, and I think that's what makes the hobby so fun.
Well, like, I don't see myself or Matt or anyone else like any differently. That we're all diggers. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
sure.
We're all in here to have fun and find cool stuff, and
it's the search. It's like. And I think, honestly, I mean, I've dug for a number of years when I first started. And I absolutely appreciate what you said. I mean, I feel like I'm just like you. I feel like there are days I go out and I feel like I just started metal detecting. Whether it's a find or I had a rough day. I went
therapy.
Yeah, I went last week, and
it is.
I had a friend who came into town. I forgot my whole machine. And I was like, what is wrong with me? I get everything on. I got my backpack. I'm like walking around, and I'm like, what am I going to find anything with?
Something missing.
So, I mean, I feel like every day I learn something new. Like, even if it's as simple as, Matt, don't be dumb, bring your metal detector. Or it's like, hey, this thing laid this way sounds this way, Right. Huge shout out to Iffy Signals for the super chat. We much appreciate it. Thank you for the support, my friend. Buying you guys a beer. We appreciate it. But, I do feel that way. I feel like every day I go out and learn something.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, right.
So
I don't know everything. And I don't pretend to either. I go out to have fun, but I learn something I try to learn something every time I go out. That's why, we came up with Dig It All and Never Hunt It Out, because we started, just digging the worst signals you could possibly think of, and we were finding good stuff.
Yeah, and that's really the case with a lot of stuff. It's extra batteries. Yeah, I'm gonna probably catch a lot of flack for forgetting my whole machine.
That's pretty funny,
dude.
But that's a nightmare. Every trip you go on, that's the first thing. I don't want to leave my machine. Take my machine. That's the thing you try to think of first, and the charger if it's a multiple day.
Well, I get so excited to go. I'm like, I gotta go. I've got 2.5, I got 3 hours. And then, gosh, that was a horrible day.
I overpack because I always feel like I'm going to forget something.
Yeah. And just like that, we made it 40 minutes. So, what do you see for you guys in the future now that you've gone out and you've really nailed down like how to secure permission and
Right.
I mean basically the world's your oyster, right? Silver tuna's everywhere.
Yeah, well, what we're looking for now, like I said, we've concentrated on the smaller lots and things. We would like to find a 10 or 15 or 20 acre permission that we can kind of always have somewhere to go, and that's what we do right now. We'll go up there and we have a permission that we've got 15 acres from a lady. We'll hunt there from 7 o'clock in the morning until 9 o'clock, and then we'll leave at 9 o'clock and go knock doors because we don't want to get people up out of bed, things like that. And at 9 o'clock, we'll go to the door. We get a permission. If we hunt it for 30 minutes and don't find anything, bump. We go to the next, knock another door because we're driving 4 hours. We only have 8 hours to hunt, so we don't want to spend an hour in a yard that we're not finding anything. So we'll cherry pick the property. If we're not hitting anything, we'll hit the next permission and go till we start finding stuff. Then we stop and kind of just
I
concentrate.
mean, I
where we
guess
find
and
things.
that makes a lot of sense to me because you have to pick your battles, right? Even
Right.
though you know that there should be stuff there, whether it's super deep or whatever, but um, you
And
know,
we're hunting in an area that I know people have been there before, but I think modern technologies turning over a lot of things that 1980s and 90s diggers didn't find. The bullets that we were digging last week they were 12, 13 inches. And my friend has an AT Max. He was hammering them. My Minelab was hammering them. But I guarantee you, if you pulled out that 1980s metal detector, they'd never go that deep and find that bullet. So I think, while you are hunting over hunted things, modern technology gives you a hand up, especially in some areas. I mean, I'd have never believed that this neighborhood would hold the relics it held. You would think that it would be dug out, but it's not.
yep, no such thing.
And we are fortunate. We did have that one friend that pointed us in the right direction. He was kind of that tough love guy. You're not coming hunting with me, not because I'm mean. I have limited places. If you want it, here's an area, go try it. That's all he told us. But he was kind enough at least to put us in the right town. And once that happened, we did our own research and found some pretty cool places.
And realistically, now you could take what you learned and really apply that to a lot of different areas, right? Just find
Sure,
those
we
historical.
Yeah, I'd love to come up and dig up in there in your area a little bit. I think you're closer to the Richmond area. I'm not sure, but Northern Virginia, we'd like to get up there some. Maybe Kurt, when you come down, we'll drive an extra hour and a half and hunt with you guys.
There you go.
Yeah, we'd
See,
love to.
I'm moving. I'm making that connection.
Yeah.
I'm doing what I'm telling you shouldn't do.
So in all of that, so what? So in the future, do you think you'll venture south now?
Yeah, we're going to try to go drop into South Carolina a little bit. My parents live near Southport in the Wilmington area, so there's no reason for us not to venture out down toward that area and down into South Carolina some. That's going to be a whole different research world, but at least we have a home base that we can work out of, a place we can stay overnight, and work on a few things. So we are going to try to venture to South Carolina, but we're having so much fun in Virginia right now. I think we're just going to keep going up there.
Yeah, you got to stop saying stuff like that. Everybody will be here. This guy, before we know it, Bob will be here. Brad will be here. We'll have to put a wall up in Virginia and both borders.
The East Coast is pretty big.
Virginia's big.
Just driving
East
anywhere,
Coast is
like
boring.
there's so many old houses in so little time.
Right.
There really is.
Oh yeah, I'd love to get on some War of 1812 and Revolutionary War sites, and I think that's why we would need to stretch out into South Carolina a little bit around the coastal plains, maybe in some northern Georgia areas. There's a lot of activity there, a little research, and I think we can be on some good stuff down there. We just have to make that trip.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'd love to go down there and dig that. And I hate to use organized relic hunting as an idea, but it's always. I mean, if they're going to go put an organized relic hunt in an area, there's nothing to say.
Oh, yeah.
There's not more relics outside of that area.
True. And you get in those relic hunts, and you respect the relic hunt and the guy that puts it on, and you would never go back to that property and that type of thing. But you are driving through that area and you're looking at properties and you're seeing things and it's computing. And once you've been there, you have a lay of the land. Then now you can start researching because you've seen it with your eyes, and that helps me. Once I've seen it, I can kind of picture it and know what I'm looking for. Because it's a different type digging than sometimes like Kurt, you guys hunt places the house is not there, it hadn't been there in a long time. You're hunting cornfields where houses 1700s houses used to be, so you really have to see properties different. You can't use that house being beside.
Sorry, my favorite thing is finding the starter homes, the homes before the homes. Like a lot of the times, the colonial will still be there, but there was a place where they stayed a few winters out back somewhere on the side yard. And you get out in these cornfields and you hit an iron patch, you start seeing brick and pottery and glass, and there's high tones in the iron patch. You know you're on something that nobody's ever found before, and it's wild.
Right. And for a new digger, it's that's the opposite world, because he's always thinking about a structure he's metal-detecting around. Mm-hmm. And you have to have that wisdom to know when I hit that iron and that glass and that pottery, I'm on the good. I've got a chance to find good things.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that's what I live for. I live for those small, servants' quarters and stuff like that, because especially around here, that's where the troops were. They didn't. The officers may have commandeered the big house, but the troops were all around the small houses, and that's where I live for.
Right. Yeah. My first relic hunt was in West Virginia, up near Carnifex Ferry. And we had a friend at church that owned a place exactly like you're talking about. There was a hospital for the battle on that property, but people camped there, after the battle was one of the earlier battles. And we found a lot of relics around that place. That was simply because of troops camping there, bullets and a couple silver coins came out of there. Some rifle pieces and a pistol came out of there. So it was pretty neat.
Nice. That is cool. So Craig Dunn said, do you use any specific research tools like websites, or do you use like historic aerials, or is there something specifically you use to help your research, to help you narrow down where you're looking for permission?
I do. You can go to, you can look at it, say a Civil War. I hate to keep using Virginia. I don't want to hold your old place out. But, you can simply type in Civil War maps in Virginia. And just because it's not a major battlefield, like you were telling me last week, I mean, how many battles took place in Virginia that aren't notable to most people? But there's always a map for those. And I would look for roads on those battle maps and the road would be there. Say Thompson Road is there. Well, then I simply Google Thompson Road and overlay the maps. And if you got an intersection and the road still exists, you know exactly where you are. And that's exactly what I would do. I mean, I just go on that county's tax site. They all now have aerial view maps that you can see. And then you just overlay it with the battlefield map. And the battlefield maps are kind of like, almost look like they're drawn by crayons. You've seen them. But if there's any road that's in that battlefield map or near that battlefield map that's still in existence, and you can overlay those two maps, you pinpoint almost exactly where you need to be, and then you just go there and start hitting some doors.
Yeah, absolutely. I've done that a couple times with some other historic maps for house sites that didn't exist, or there was a house built on top of the existing house site. In fact, one of my most favorite places I've ever dug was just like that.
Right.
So,
and that's what we hope to do in Carolina a little bit. We'll probably try to start hitting South Carolina in the fall. Probably stay where we're at now through the summer, and then hit South Carolina for some Revolutionary War of 1812 stuff a little later. But that is definitely on the horizon.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That stuff is tough to find, but man, when you find it, it's so rewarding.
Sure, I won't know what half of it is.
Yeah, I mean
that's the best, when you find something you have no idea what it is, and you get to look it up, and then you figure out what it is, and you're just like, oh, I found this, and then you learn something.
It's kind of funny. I dug that New York Excelsior officers button last week. I'm filming it. I got my cell phone out, filming it for my show, and I'm like, I don't know what this button is. What do I look like a dumb idiot on YouTube and tell them I don't know what it is? And My buddy's got the cell phone behind me, and he's like whispering in my ear, "You are getting cells here." Okay.
I have no shame. I'll say, do you guys know what this is? Let me know, because I have no idea.
It is a very common button, but for a new relic hunter, you don't know what a lot of these buttons look like.
No.
The one I want is the North Carolina Sunburst. That's the one I want.
That makes two of
And
us. I want one of those too.
Three of us. That's the button I'm looking for. Is that's the one I want.
Yeah, I've
I
seen.
probably honestly, I want that button.
I've seen a couple really incredible ones come out. In fact, Ralph found a beautiful one in the water, and my friend Pete found another incredible one not too far from where you're hunting at. So, it's been pretty. They're a fantastic button. So that you'd say that was probably top of the bucket list for the next year.
That's it. That's what I want. That North Carolina button.
What about you?
I'll take anything.
I'd like a Standing Liberty quarter. I haven't found one in like 3 years.
Really?
It's funny. Do you have anything that you thought that you should have found since you've been digging? I mean, you haven't been digging for a long time, but
yeah, I mean, and I've been around the houses and properties to find it. I have found colonial coppers, but I have never found a U.S. large cent.
What?
And you guys turn them up all the time. Everybody I go hunting with finds them. I take people and they find them, and I have no clue. It's amazing.
That's what keeps us going.
And they're like wheat pennies. They're like wheat pennies to you guys.
No, I wish they were. I wish it was as easy as it looks.
Yeah,
we don't film the bad days.
Yeah, I've got seeded coins, cap bust coins. I've got colonial coppers. I got a 1724 Woods Hibernian. I don't even have a large cent. So who knows?
Yeah, I mean,
you will.
Yeah, it's
that's what everybody said. It's not happening. I need to quit looking for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's how it happens, man. Like, I never found a trime. I feel like I should have found a trime. I found half dimes. Yeah. I found half dollars. I found seated. I found bust, but I've never found a trime. And
right,
it drives me nuts.
How about you, Kurt? What's you never found? What are you looking for?
There's no trime in that case. I wish it was.
What are you looking for, Kurt? What's that one thing that's eluded you, Kurt? What are you looking for?
It was the barber quarter for the longest time. I finally got one of them, and I found a handful of cents. Eluded me. Like, the white whale is the thing, like, the large cent. Like, for you, it's like the thing that you should have found by now, but you haven't. There's not too much that I feel like I should have found. I mean, I even have a gold coin, and I never even thought I would ever find one of them. But I've gotten to the point where I just go out and whatever the earth gives me, I'm happy with it.
Right. Yeah. And that's what my oldest teenage son said. Aren't you tired of digging bullets? I'm like, no way.
I mean,
I can dig bullets all day long.
You got tired of digging bullets today, didn't you?
No. I dug a few bullets today, but like I couldn't tell you how many pieces of Spanish silver I found. I mean, it could be 50 somewhere in there. I have no idea. I mean,
that's awesome.
I've seen 2 1700 U.S. silvers come out of the ground. I don't ever expect to find a 1700 U.S. silver, but that's pretty high up there. I would love to find 1700 U.S. silver.
Yeah, there you go.
Bob said he still hasn't found his birch scent yet.
Bob, you gotta go out digging, bro.
Yeah, well, the invite's always open.
Last on the sea.
But, man, we have 49 awesome people hanging out with us. I'd like to give a shout out to each and every one of you who came in and said hello and hung out. I mean, I guess for 2 years in the hobby, man, you're doing exceptionally well, and I'm super glad you're able to come on tonight and share all of your learning, the overall enthusiasm that you have for this hobby, and I'm really, really stoked about it, and I appreciate it. We got the best comment. What was it? It was Detect. I can't remember. I'm not gonna mess his name up. But he said we should charge for this. But we don't. So every Tuesday night when we have great guests like Travis, it's free. All you got to do is come and hang out.
This is the state of the digging address tonight, right?
Yeah, that was the last one. That was the last one. Maybe upset some people with that one, but we had fun.
Oh yeah. Well, it was great meeting. I appreciate it. It's exciting to see Kurt. One of the guys you see on YouTube and Facebook all the time. It's just pretty cool to be in the same chat with you guys. I just do it to have fun, man. That's the goal. I hope everybody out there just have a good time.
It's not about what you find at the end of the day. It's about fun. The memories you made.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And for me, this is my long distance collaboration, right? Like I can't always go out and dig with everybody on the internet, but this is as close as I get because I get to listen to your story, and it's fantastic too. So we just like that we have made it for. We made it to an hour, and that happened pretty quick, right?
It sure did.
So
I appreciate you. Maybe people will go by and check out Rowan Relics on Facebook and YouTube. That's where they can see what I dig. Pretty simple. Rowan's the county I'm from, and that's how it got its name. But man, being on here with you guys has been exciting. I've really had a good time.
We absolutely appreciate it. Well, I tell you what, don't go anywhere. We'll slide you off to the side here for a second, and we're gonna wrap this up. So, boom, just like that. A whole hour with Travis Allen from Rowan Relics. Did I wreck that? But go check him out on Facebook, YouTube as well. He's got an incredible Facebook group, plenty of knowledgeable people that have all kinds of love and passion for this. You can find his adventures right here on YouTube. Those should be descripted down in the bottom. Man, thanks for everybody who stopped in, said hello. Thanks for our special guests for coming over and digging some bullets with us, and everybody in the live stream. I am absolutely stoked to be here and have you guys here with me as well. So, how about this? We always close this the same way, don't we? Almost as cool as his. There's history out there to be found, and this week I hope you're able to go out and find history. If you're not able to go out and find history, I hope you're able to go out and make history and change the world. My name's Matt.
Kurt from the Hoover Boys.
And this is Gone Diggin' live from the Relic Room. On your way out, hit the like button for us. We'll see you right here next Tuesday for Pete Sorrell from Digstock. So we'll see you guys real soon.
We outie? Can you still hear us? No, we're still alive. Oh no, we're still alive. No, it's this part.